Muy buenas tardes, mi gente. Muy buenas tardes. Hello, everybody. This is Alejandro Garza with Quolores Unidos here at Radio Que Rico, your number one station that is everything LGBTQ plus for my Latino community. Muy buenas tardes, mi gente. Les habla Alejandro Garza, su host favorito de Quolores Unidos, con Radio Que Rico, su estación favorita de Ottawa y Gatineau. Este show es dirigido para la comunidad LGBTQ plus latina y toda cualquier otra persona que les guste escuchar mi show aquí en Radio Que Rico. Muchas felicidades. Happy holidays, everybody. I know we just had Christmas. It is Boxing Day. And if you saw my show from 2 weeks ago, we said it was going to be a two-part show. We talked about beauty and all the perfect ideas, what to get for Christmas. Hablamos de las ideas para Navidad. Espero que las hagan seguido. I hope some of you guys followed some of our ideas and so on and so forth. So welcome to part 2. And we're going to be talking about health. Bienvenidos a parte 2. Whoa. And we're going to be talking about, vamos a hablar sobre la salud. We're going to talk about health, how to get in shape, how to stay in shape. And for those that like to start the new year's with 2025, in the gym, we have, on this Boxing Day, actually, on Boxing Day, we have a very special person who's actually a boxer. He's a phenomenal kickboxer. His name is Jordan Rogers, and he's actually my trainer, but he's also he's like a younger brother to me because I'm actually younger than him, believe it or not. Actually, no, I'm older than him. He's younger than me. And so I see him as a brother. I see him as a really, really good friend. And since it's part 2 and we're going to talk about health, I wanted to bring him here. And I know, mi gente latina, nosotros tratamos de empezar que la dieta, que empezamos que ir al gimnasio, que para bajar la lonja, que para bajar la papada, and yet we don't do anything. Like, I know a lot of us, especially in the Latino community, around this time of the year, we like our tamales, our buñuelos, our pan de dulce, everything that's happening. And then we feel guilty after. And then so we start hitting the gym in 2025, and then we stop. So with that said, we welcome everybody. Jordan Rogers, owner of Mighty Maestro Fitness. And welcome, Jordan. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How was your holidays? Did you have some awesome holidays?
I have so far.
So far, so good.
You've been able to share some of those holidays with you too, so thanks for being there.
Oh, well, thank you very much. And like I said, it is Boxing Day, and he is a professional kickboxer, which is phenomenal. And I think it's kind of a little bit, it's a little play on words, which is I thought it was kind of cute when I did that. So, tell us, Jordan, a little bit about who is Jordan Rogers.
Well, he is me.
Yes.
I've just been around for a really long time. I think my early approach was to understand every sport and every facet of martial arts, which made me really good at a lot of things, but it took a long time to master certain things. But along the way, I've acquired a few black belts and national level kickboxing and wrestling. And then in the fitness world with certifications and focusing on injury rehabilitation, I've just really been around, and now I find later on in my career that's actually a huge benefit because I can help people on a whole, and I understand almost what anybody's going through. So that's sort of the principle I established Mighty Maestro Fitness on, was being able to help anybody with any sort of problem, or just somebody that's saying, you know what, I need to take control of my own fitness and I need something fun and exciting to do. So we're able to offer a lot of different things. Like we've got kickboxing, we've got grappling available, we have obstacle course training, circuit training. In the summer we do a lot of hill training, but we try to be multifaceted because not only do we want to be inclusive in the LGBTQ plus community, we also want to be inclusive just to human beings in general, just to whatever they could possibly need. and find a way for them to level up in their personal fitness journey.
Yes, which is very, very important, right? Because as individuals, every individual's fitness journey is different, right? I know my journey has been very different than any other of your clients that you've had, right? Like
Yeah.
you have helped me grow in so many levels of fitness that before I met you, I was so afraid of a gym. I was so
Hmm.
afraid to to even lift a weight. I met you, and within like a few years, I started to do things on my own. Still seeing you once or twice a week. Still asking you questions on, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? And always with that support there, right?
Yeah.
So now, did you always intended to be in the fitness industry? Was that always your intentions, or did you have any other intentions?
Oh, I've had so many intentions. When I was younger, I thought for sure I was going to be a professional ball player, and I made it very close before I hurt my shoulder in martial arts.
Okay.
And then I was very certain I was going to be in the UFC. I had a high level pro fight scheduled, cut down to 155 pounds. I'm
Wow.
generally about 200 pounds. So it was a
Wow.
long cut, and the fighter pulled out the week of with an injury. So I won an amateur title in MMA, but I decided instead of living out of my car like GSP did, that I had an avenue for coaching
Yeah.
instead, and focusing more on the teaching and the coaching. So I chose that, and it's definitely something I feel like is my calling. So it's something, even the Maestro nickname doesn't necessarily come from fighting. It came from one of the fighters that told me I would orchestrate their fight camps based on their personal needs. So I would sort of pull the strings and be the maestro behind the scenes and help them get to their fight, which I think is what myself and our instructors do for people. They pull those strings or help people pull those strings for themselves, regardless of whatever they need, basically.
And that is true. I mean, you are the maestro of instruction on how to do, pretty much how to tell somebody how to work out, what to do,
Hmm.
what not to do. I mean, I know with me, we're constantly talking about posture, 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 right?
Yeah.
And it's so embedded in my head now that even when I'm working out on my own, it's like, okay, I hear you from the other side of the gym saying, arch your back, raise that shoulder, watch this, watch
Yeah.
that. So, I mean, you know what? It's a gift. You have a tremendous gift when it comes to being a maestro, when it comes to being an instructor, when it comes to being pretty much everything that has to do fitness. I mean, to me, you're like the walking Greek god of fitness, because you are. I mean, everything that I've learned about fitness comes from you.
Thank you. That's an
Which,
honor.
of course, and I tell everybody, I show people, I show people my transformation. I mean, because we've been doing this since 2018, right? And so I show people when I first started in 2018 where I'm now, and they're blown away. They're like, oh my God, what a change. And yes, we all want that quick fix, which we're going to be talking about, that quick fix, which it doesn't exist. But tell us, how did Mighty Maestro in general start?
It was just sort of a transition. I was running martial arts facilities for a long time, specifically Terrien,
Yes.
jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. And I sort of was looking to transition out of that sort of political martial arts world, and sort of start my own thing, but I wanted to sort of have a happy place for people. I wanted our classes to be a place where if you come and you have problems outside your life, they won't face you here. So like there's no politics, no drama. You come in and you train, and it's just about love. It's just about helping you. Not just some people come in and it's vanity's often a reason that starts it. But that's not really what I'm in it for. I want you to feel better in every facet of your life. It's more like, I want you to feel better at home with your partner. I want you to feel like you're able to take a hike on that vacation and explore things that you never thought possible. I want to open up avenues in life that weren't there before. That's sort of the goal. That was kind of how it started.
And just by being with you since 2018, I've seen you grow with that goal. I've seen Mighty Maestro, grow so much to the point where, how many times have you won a Ottawa Face Award for Best Boot Camp? Twice?
3.
3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times, you guys. So, Ottawa Face Awards is almost like the Oscars of Ottawa, believe it or not. And to be recognized by the Ottawa Face Awards really means a lot, because there's so many people that are nominated for all kinds of different categories, right? And I know that you were also nominated as a personal trainer for the Ottawa Face Awards. Unfortunately, somebody else won, but just being nominated is such a huge recognition as well. But walking away as Mighty Maestro Fitness, that must have just really fulfilled a lot in your personal growth, and also as Mighty Maestro Fitness, right?
Oh, honestly, the first time that we won, it was a surprise. And I think it felt better than the title belt I won. It just felt really nice, because it felt like an award from the people I love.
Yeah.
Where, the title belt, I had to win a fight to get it.
Yeah.
But more so, it felt like recognition from people I love, which is, my clients are, as you know, they become like family to me. And I think one of the big things with us, it doesn't matter if you're in our class. If you've been part of the family, you're always part of the family. It's not like, if you're not paying me, you don't matter. And we've gone years where we weren't even training together, but you're still family to me regardless of that. And I think that's really important, that when somebody touches your life like that, I think to have a kickboxing term, I should be in their corner for life.
Speaking of kickboxing, I actually met Jordan wanting to learn how to kickbox. And I went in one day just to ask for information, and then actually went in the next day, and he brought me into the office and said, okay, here are some basic moves. Can you do these basic moves before you can actually, go into the class? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so that's where we just literally started hitting it off. And, I didn't believe in myself, but you believed in me. You believed in me in the point where I went from what we would call basic, and in less than a year, I went to advanced. And that really blew my mind, because I was like, you know what? Here is somebody that actually believes in me, that actually believes that I can do kickboxing. While myself, I was like, I can't do this. But then I had you to believe in me, to really push me, and brought me to the next level, which you've done again. And I keep repeating since 2018. So you've won the Ottawa Face Awards. You won for Best Boot Camp. Tell us a little bit about your boot camps. What is all included in these award-winning boot camp classes, so everybody can know?
They started back in 2012, which is pretty much when the Maestro Fitness started as well. So we celebrated our 10-year back in 2022 with a big party. As you know, you were there.
Yep.
So the boot camps were originally sort of hill boot camps at Mooney's Bay, and they became really popular. There were times where we'd have 30 people running up that hill, and even in the pandemic, it was a way for us to just go outside and get out of the house, and we could easily be 6 meters apart at that hill, just to respect everybody's privacy and whatever people needed. We've always been about that. So 2012 they started, and they were hill camps, but we've since expanded, and we also have our kickboxing weekly. We'll even do it outside in the summer.
Yeah.
And we have circuit training and functional fitness style training classes. We just want you to understand your bodies and be able to do little things like move left and right better, have more explosiveness, and that just leads to things like being able to dance more freely, being able to move more freely, get up the stairs, get up in the morning, uh, things like that. And we also have had a long time partnership with OCR Academy.
Yes.
That's in the West End, but not far from IKEA. And they have an amazing facility where we're able to train people American Ninja Warrior style. So not only that, it's a really big training ground for the Spartan race, which we always have a huge team at every year. So we're able to teach people how to climb and swing on the ropes and the rings, scale walls and things like that. And we get people that come in and they cannot even hold on to the ring at first. And it's amazing to see after a few months, all of a sudden they're swinging like they've been doing it their whole lives. And those are the kind of people where then we get a new member that comes in and they try it and they're like, oh, I can't possibly do this. And they say, just wait. I couldn't either. So you'll be able to do it. Just stick with it.
Now, are these classes, being the boot camps on the hill, being the circuit, being the OCR, are these for all ages, or is this, or do you limit a certain age?
Great question. No, it's for just everybody. That's one of the big things I want. I want like a pro athlete to be able to train next to a 65-year-old person that's never worked out in their life and they're just looking to get fit. So we always have an option A, B, and C for everybody.
Yep.
Even a D if they need it. You know about option D.
Oh yes, I sure do. Trust me.
So we try to be inclusive in that way as well. We don't always go for young children. Sometimes I'll do special events. If the child is able to operate sort of in their own bubble and is mature enough, we've gone as early as like 8 to 10. Yeah. But generally teenage, like 13, 14 and up is probably more preferable, just so everybody can stay in their zone and have a more serious workout.
So you usually do the boot camps in Mooney's Bay during what, like early spring, summer, and almost like late fall. What do you offer when it comes during the wintertime when it's like frozen outside and it's minus 20 degrees? What do you offer for our listeners?
So we are in the midst of possibly transitioning. So I'll get back to you soon on that one. But as of right now, we've got to have a long time partnership with our friends at Inner Soul, who we love, and we're always going to be doing events and stuff with, regardless of if we take some of our classes to another place. And we'd only be leaving just because there's some more room that might be required.
Of course.
They just have a lovely, sweet yoga studio and cycle studio. Go check them out as well. They're also in a beautiful, inclusive environment.
Yes, they are.
What we do is, we go usually inside. We're into a facility in the winter, but we still offer our circuit training, and we try to offer sort of an environment where no two classes are ever the same. One, I don't want you to know what to expect.
No, you don't. You never know.
And I know what it's like, and I don't want you to get bored.
Of course.
It's fun when you walk in and your instructor surprises you.
Yes, I know. There is a workout, and then there's a Jordan workout. No, seriously, there's a workout, and then there's a Jordan workout.
Yes.
Because you never know what to expect. And in a way, it's kind of good because it kind of sort of shocks your brain, shocks your senses, and it shocks your body, where you're able to do things that you did not know you could do before, with, you guys being there if you guys have any questions, and actually showing,
Yes.
people, you can't be afraid of trying to climb up the rope or trying to climb up the wall when you're doing these OCR classes, right? So, because I've done it once, and I'm like, this is just not for me. I'm just gonna stick to the gym. But I've seen some people actually do the OCR classes, and they've gone from a zero to a hero, where they've done so much for them. Because I've seen the videos when you guys go to the Spartan races, and I'm always in the background rooting for you guys. Tell us a bit more about those OCR classes and how people can actually join and actually go with you guys to some of these Spartan races.
Oh, that's great. I actually, the website's easy, mightymaestrofitness.com, Mighty Maestro Fitness on Facebook or Instagram, where we will answer you right away. We always offer a free class. It's a big thing for me is I want you to come out and try out me as well, and our other instructor for a lot of the classes, Austin. I want you to make sure you like us. I want you to make sure you like the environment. I don't want you to commit to something before you go in and say, okay, I could see myself loving this. Because that's big. If you like us and you like the class and the environment, that's a way for you to possibly stay consistent. And plus, when you have a bunch of your friends saying, hey, you coming Friday?
Yeah.
People that become like family to you saying, I'll see you Friday. It's like, yeah, I better go.
Yeah, for sure.
I better go to my class on Friday. And that's a lot of the environment. But yeah, so we encourage you to please come out for a free class. Make sure you like it. Because yes, you're right, Alejandro. It's not always, maybe the circuit training's better for you. Maybe you love kickboxing. Maybe you really just want to go around to OCR and learn how to swing like a monkey.
Yeah.
But sometimes things can be daunting at first, and I've seen people come into OCR and be like, "Oh, this is impossible." And I say, "Well, here's step one to making it possible. Can you do that?" And they'll say, "Oh, yeah, that's not bad. That's still a good workout." And then I let them try that for a couple weeks, and I say, "You know what? What do you think about step 2 today?"
Yeah.
And then they try, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know I could do this." And then suddenly, when the face that people have, or that the feeling that people have when they make it up a rope for the first time, or do the rings for the first time, and they're like, wow, I didn't think this was something I was going to see from myself. Like maybe since I was a kid, or I didn't think I was going to see it again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
It's really amazing to be able to be a part of that. So yeah, basically at OCR, I want to give you all the skills necessary to be able to compete in a Spartan race. But also just, to go to the park and play with your kids.
Oh, for sure.
Like, Dad, how do you do these monkey bars? Isn't it great if you can actually say, here's how?
Exactly.
Or Mom, I don't know how to get up this ladder. Oh, let me show you.
Yeah.
Just to be able to be a more functional part of your own life. And then if you can go to that Spartan race, I can't tell you how many people they've said, like, I can't do that. But then, bit by bit, I say, hey, what do you think about next year's Spartan race? Maybe we try it. And they register, and I tell them it's called a Spartan race, but it's not a race.
Okay.
It's just a battle against yourself to do something that you didn't think you could do. You can go and you can try to compete and race against other people if you want to.
Yeah.
But there's not a time limit.
Okay. Oh, really?
No.
I did not know that. I
No,
thought there
you
was
can-
like a time limit, right?
Yeah, like you can go and you can try to do it in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Like because the basic race is, and I call it basic, but it's just it's a 5K and it has 20 obstacles.
Wow. Okay.
And there's also a mountain to run up.
Yes, of course.
But if you can walk up that mountain,
Yeah.
and then you start to learn some of the basic obstacles. Even if you can't make it through the obstacles, they have an option to do what they call a penalty loop. So you can say, okay, I can't do this rope, or I failed on this rope. No big deal. So you just go and do a 400-meter penalty loop.
Okay. Oh.
So it's not huge or anything. It used to be burpees back in the day, which kept people a little bit frightened of the race. But they're trying to make the race a little bit more all-inclusive for the community as well. So you have the option to make the race more extreme, or you have the option to go and see if you can make it through it. And you will. You will. So usually what we do with our race, I go through with an initial pack of racers, and then I try to run back to the start and then get everybody else through and just have a
Okay.
coach for them on the side. Say, yes, one ring. That's it.
Okay.
Keep breathing.
Yes.
Just little things like just having a friendly face show up when you're have about whatever it might be 20 minutes left in the race can be like, oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
There's my friend.
What's the age group that can participate in the OCR classes or even in the Spartan race?
It's almost unlimited. They
Really?
I
Even
think
kids?
it's they have kids. I think it's 5.
Okay.
So the kids races are a little bit different.
Of course.
Last year we had a couple of, I think 3 of the people that raced on our team also have children
Wow.
participate in that same day. And it's really cool to see mom and dad compete and then the kids compete.
Nice.
Or just the parents in general compete and then the kids
Yeah.
compete. So I think that's just a really cool feeling. But yeah, so the OCR offers kids classes, but we try to keep ours for like basically 10 and up, depending on the maturity level. You should see the kids though; they take to it even more naturally than the adults do.
I think kids, once they see their mom or their dad or any of their other siblings doing, the OCR, obstacle races and things like that, that gets them motivated to be like, oh my God, I want to do what my dad is doing, or I want to do what big brother or big sister is doing, right? Because that's how they get motivated. Do you find that a lot, that's how kids get motivated, or even just adults in general?
I find that with everybody. I find it's that's when I started the company, I didn't do a lot of advertising. It was just word of mouth. Like I just got into the shape of my life, and would you like to as well? And it's like, oh, that's enticing. Or I have a great time in these classes, and I get in shape. Do you want to come try with me?
Yeah.
And that's always been one of our biggest calling cards. It's the reason why these days I can't even take any more personal training clients. So I'm at capacity.
Wow. That's good.
And I have a large capacity, so things are going well in that way. I hate turning people down, so I usually try to help them find an avenue or develop a plan regardless, because I always just love helping people start their journey or just be more efficient.
Yeah, for sure.
In their journey, but it's true. It's so true. Like it's a pay it forward industry, the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Because you said it yourself. You're like, wow, I feel better.
Yep.
Everything I do feels a little easier.
Yep.
So you'll tell people about it.
Of course.
And you'll say like, if you need help, I've got somebody for you.
just what was it, like on Friday? I was talking to one of my clients. I'm not going to mention her names, but she was telling me that her partner starts to work out, and then they kind of like slow down because of X, Y, and Z. But before we go into talking about personal training, which is what I want to talk to you about, is don't forget to follow them, Mighty Maestro Fitness, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on their go to their website as well to look and see all the different classes and everything that they have to offer, because they have something going on every day, almost every day of the year. So make sure you guys go out there, follow them on their Instagram, follow them on Facebook, go to their website, and of course, don't forget to follow us as well here at Radio Que Rico. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us. And so going into personal training, I know you said you're up to your limit right now. So let's say that you get somebody new, you get somebody fresh, and they're like, Jordan, I need to get in the best shape of my life. What do you tell them?
So I'll either say, you know what, let's develop something together if they're not looking for ongoing training.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. And then I also have one of our other trainers, Austin, that I can refer them to. So usually like something like that, or just even if depending, like even at New Body Dimensions, which is one of the places I train and we train together.
Yep.
They have some cool trainers there. Like if they're saying like, I'd like to compete in the physique industry, I'll say, you know what, there's an expert here. Her name's Sherry Agius, and
Yes.
so I'll recommend them towards that. Because for me, it's not about like, oh, you've got to train with me. If I can just be a step in your fitness journey, that's always that's just an honor to me, just to be a part of it.
Okay.
So if I can just point you in the right direction, I don't mind that as well. So I don't want you to ever think I'm going to be super disappointed if you don't choose me. It's okay. I've been around for a long time. I've helped a lot of people, and it's not something I'm afraid of. So don't worry about that. If you ever even just need advice, like just please feel free to reach out.
But even for myself, like let's say that you did have the capacity, and I just come to you. I'm fully fresh. I've never worked out. What are some of the steps that you take once you meet the client for the first time? What are the different steps that you take them through to make them realize that, hey, that six pack, it's not going to happen in a month, right? Those arms, anything is going to, take time.
Yeah, and that's really the big question in the industry, and it's for your listeners. I know there's a lot to follow out there. I have people all the time like, I saw this on Instagram. Those videos where they say they do one exercise and then they waggle their finger and they say swipe, do it this way. A lot of those exercises, I'm going to tell you ahead of time, aren't right. And it's, I'm going to say more so the posts aren't right. They might show 3 different exercises and say these 2 are wrong and this one is right. Chances are they're all right.
Yeah.
There's just different types of activation.
Yeah.
So it can be a really confusing world to sort through. So basically what I want to do to help people start is just to get them to understand what they need for consistency. The big secret is the people that do really intense diets, the people that do really intense workout programs, they tend to crash.
Yeah.
They tend to come off of it. And it happens in the bodybuilding world too. They do a show and then they just want to eat Joe Louis for the next 6 months or whatever it is. Or they're like, I missed pizza so much. So any program that makes you desperately miss something that you had before, probably psychologically is going to make you rebound. So basically what I want to do is I want to understand the people's bodies first. So maybe there's an injury. So here's how to work around that injury and then make it stronger. So that now then you can go to whatever classes you were going to before and not get injured. So that's a starter. And then as far as diet, I don't even like the word diet. I've put myself on a lot of diets. I've done it all as far as right now I'm vegetarian. If any of those vegetarians out there want to learn how to use all those plant-based proteins properly, please reach out, let us know. I've been vegetarian for 5 years and I feel fantastic, and there's still a lot of muscle here.
Yeah.
So
I know.
A lot of people, like, they look at my 200-pound frame and they're like, what? How do you do that with veggies? So just there's some myths about that, but there's just feel that I get way more protein than most do with veggies, beans, nuts, etc. But I won't go too far into that. But when I'm starting somebody on their fitness journey, what I really just want to do is like help open a door to them for an avenue that's actually going to make them feel consistent in their lives. Because the only secret is showing up for yourself on a regular basis. So I like to talk to people about living life with intention. And that goes for everything, even in your relationships at home. This is a good example. People, they fall in love or they meet somebody and they're crazy about them and everything rides really high for a while. And then some of that intention that they had that came so easy before in their life, then it starts to get more difficult. Okay. And when it comes time to have to put work into your life, into your fitness, or into what you're eating, it becomes more difficult for everybody. Yeah. And I understand that. I get it. Life is a struggle. It's hard enough just navigating this world as a human being. And then on top of it, you've got to do all this stuff. You got to try to have a successful relationship. Maybe you got to try to have successful friendships. Maybe you need to be a parent. Yeah. This life is tough, and I totally understand how difficult trying to look after yourself on top of all that is. Yeah. The thing is, all of those things are probably a reason why you do need to look after yourself. Because being fit, feeling good, helps you in every facet. So it's going to help you, you had a long day at work. You go home and you're like, you know what, I'm going to do the dishes so my partner doesn't have to. Or I'm going to find the energy to give my partner a massage tonight so that maybe we'll have a little bit more intention into the passionate side of our relationship. It can open doors for you just being able to feel healthy and feel good. Yep. So those are the kind of doors that I want to encourage people to open. And there's really no one size fits all.
And I can actually attest to that because I think I've messaged you or I've even told you several times where we've done a really hard workout. And after working out, I still go do
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes worth of cardio, high incline at a really good speed. I'll get home and I'll clean the entire apartment from head to toes, and I'll message you. I just finished cleaning the entire apartment. I'm so wired, right? That's the kind of energy that imagine going to work out and then going to work right after. You'll have so much energy,
Yeah.
especially like throughout the day. You're just gonna keep going and going and going, and that's something that I find even during the days that I just struggle to get out of bed because that's one of my biggest things is I struggle to get out of bed. But once I'm up and I start moving around, it's almost like something just clicks into my head and I just keep going, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of keep going, once you've got the client, once they've started, once you've assessed them, once you've spoken to them, once you've shown them, how do you keep them motivated?
Ooh, that's honestly, like now that I've been able to train so many people for such a long time,
Yeah.
now it's like I have a sample size. Like at first, maybe maybe I've got 6 clients and 2 of them like are like having trouble with motivation. It's like, oh man, is it me? But now like when I see like 90% of the people actually get those results, but you realize there's a lot of things like people will stop and they'll say, "Oh, I had this major incident in my life. I'm gonna have to take a break," or "I had a car accident," or I'm having financial troubles. And I totally get that in this economy, and we have ways to help you with that too, by the way, because we want there's not having money is not a reason why people shouldn't be able to train.
Yep.
So, but every time I hear these reasons, to me, you're giving me reasons why you need to train more.
Yeah.
You've had a heartbreak or you've had a major incident in your life or a death in the family. You need an outlet for one, and you also need to feel good as possible so that when you have to go and face the family or go to these events, you're not going to feel like somebody just hit you with a truck afterwards and like need all that time to recover physically and mentally. At least you're going to have a leg up that way. I mean, because we all know like a good diet and a good exercise also helps your cognitive function. It also helps your ability to be stimulated mentally, physically, sexually. So all of those things go along with it. And it's one of the reasons why I believe in it so much, and I've devoted so much time to helping people with that through my own life.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm a witness of all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, now I started to get up at 5:30 in the morning on Mondays, and I'm at the gym by 6:30, right?
Yeah.
Where before I was dragging myself in at like, oh, it's 8:00. Now I wake up at 5:30, walk the dog, do my shake, get on that bus, even on minus 20 degrees, and head to the gym, right? And then on Tuesdays when I see you, I get to sleep in just a little bit more, but with the dog, I mean, he automatically wakes me up at 6, so I'm already awake at 6. So I'll walk him out, I'll get my stuff ready, and I actually look forward to our workout. I actually look forward to seeing you because I know that, one, my motivation is my own personal health, my own personal growth, right? That is my motivation, that I want to look better, I want to feel better, I want to be able to go to the doctor, do blood work, and my doctor call me and say, hey, you're in the best shape of your life, which has happened. And that's what I like, that it has happened to me where I've done blood work and I think I've told you there's a couple things here and there, but my cholesterol under control, my sugar under control, that fatty liver, she's gone. I'm telling you, she has been gone. She has been evicted. And that's something that you should consider, that if it's part of your health, let that be your motivation to get up at 5:30 in the morning, get to the gym and do what you need to do, right? And just because you go to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to spend hours and hours there. Even if you just go to a treadmill, hit it for 30 minutes, lift little light weights, that's more than enough. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so amazing just to hear you hear you say that. Of course, I know all these things, but it's just it really feels good for you, and it feels good for me, and it's like we feed off of each other's energy, and we give that positive energy back out into the world, and it's really so cool to see. But just to even go further into the point earlier, when people start, they make the poor decision of trying to dive in like into the deepest part of the fitness water, and they drown a little bit. So what I try to get people to do is just like start it step by step. Like, don't be afraid to just make a small change. Like, got this great water here today. Drink more water. Like, a lot of people, like, one of the first things I'll ask them is like, how's the water? And they're like, water.
What is that?
Sometimes I'll have a drink if I'm really thirsty. But I'm like, well, like it's kind of imperative, but we drink a couple liters of water every day, and it's even that on a consistent basis. People will report, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm sleeping better. I feel better, and now I actually feel a little bit more like working out.
Yeah.
So learning how to make smaller changes is a lot bigger of a deal first. And then experimenting with what you're eating is like finding healthier alternatives that you actually enjoy eating and that you can eat consistently. That's kind of a part two. Not just saying like, here's a plan and following it. Like if you have a plan and you like dread eating meal number 3 every day, it's not sustainable. It's not going to happen. If you're like sick of eating that second chicken breast on a Tuesday, you're going to never want to do it again. All those healthy foods are actually going to become things that you are almost have a phobia of.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's going to push you further towards unhealthy foods because you detested it so much. Whereas like just incorporating more colorful vegetables and fruits into your diet, some more lean meats if you're on the meat side, or white fish and things like that, just incorporating them and starting to learn to enjoy them and let your palate develop so that you they actually could become part of your life. Because sometimes we grow up and we have way too much salt. We don't know from our parents, and we're really addicted to sodium. So it takes a while to gradually cut it out, and it can't just be drastic. Or maybe we have really high carb and sugar diets when we're younger and we don't know it. And then when it comes time to like cutting all those breads out that we didn't realize that were such a big part of our diet, instead just cut a couple of them out and then a little more and a little more until you're saying, okay, I have a more balanced relationship with my bread. And then the same thing goes with working out. Don't come to my OCR class and try to do the extreme version of everything I do. I am doing it because I've developed the abilities and skills throughout my whole fitness journey that spanned 30 years. So I'm not expecting you to do option C or D. Do option D on your own time though. So do option C. And don't be afraid of it. And there's always a way to modify it. And that can be the scary thing is like, oh crap, I can't even do option C. Maybe you've had an injury and your body's not quite ready for that. It doesn't mean it won't be. So here's option F. It doesn't matter. We'll get you through it and find you a way to do it. And don't be afraid to reach out or ask somebody when you are totally not sure how to do things. There's another side too. Sometimes people are really sure they do know how to do things, and there's a couple things they're a little off on. And so sometimes just being in classes and just having me say, hey, here's a little adjustment that might feel better. Try it. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Sometimes that can be helpful as well. And so just in the basic way to say it is try to face life a little bit more consistently. Try to live life with a little more intention. Like I want to do this for this, or if I want passion in my life, it's not just going to come to you. Take your passion in your life. Your fitness won't come to you either. Try to take it.
Yeah.
You're part of the responsibility there. Even hiring a trainer will not cut it unless you walk through the doors they open for you. Okay.
Hallelujah.
So same thing goes for your fitness, your health, your life at home,
Yeah.
and so be a part of your own life.
When it comes to nutrition, I know that with like in my case, you literally helped me develop a nutrition plan because I was only eating. I mean, the stuff that I was eating in the morning was not really good, which was your peanut butter and jelly sandwich with your coffee and so on and so forth. And you're like, here's a meal plan. Follow this. Let me know what you think. We can tweak it here and there. And now instead of eating, twice a day, I'm actually eating 5 times a day.
Yeah.
And I don't feel bloated. I don't feel like I've gained weight. And that's because, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. I feel like my metabolism is constantly, you eat and it burns it. You eat and it burns it. Do you recommend something like that for some of your clients besides myself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And life feels better, doesn't it? When you're revving high, like it's for lack of a better term, when you feel like you were like a Ford Aerostar 1992. You're not a high performance automobile, but you can actually, as opposed to cars, you can completely do an overhaul and eventually turn that body into that Ferrari or whatever you were trying to seek and be that high performance automobile.
Yeah.
It feels better.
Yeah,
It does.
Right.
So yeah, I do recommend because if I tell you make those little changes, you might be like, what changes? I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's totally normal. And again, there's so much information online. Some of it's great.
Yeah.
Try it. Why not? Try and see if it works for you. But if they're telling you completely overhaul, I don't want to badmouth any diets or anything like that. I'm not necessarily on board with things like the keto diet, but I do have one person that it works super well for him, and he actually likes it.
Okay.
He enjoys it, and he's been eating like that for 20 straight years.
Wow.
And he's primarily been keto. Fine. He likes it. He enjoys it. For most people, it's another one of those things that's not sustainable and you're going to rebound from.
Okay.
Because eventually those sugars and sodiums, they're going to come back in.
Yeah.
You're going to miss them. So if you're not sure what to do, reach out, do some research. There are a lot of really cool channels on Instagram too that actually do give good advice. And there's lots of advice on ours.
Oh, yes.
We also have, thanks to our manager, Ray, shout out to Ray here. Ray's close to us as well, of course. And Ray's my brother as well.
Yes.
But he, and a very proud member of the trans community. So he has helped me. I've made so many diet templates over the years. And he's helped me even expand on that so that we have ready-made templates for cheap for people. Because, maybe you're like, okay, I don't have the money right now for a full custom-made plan. We have things that are available as templates as well. So you're like, okay, what do you need? Just basic vegetarian, what's a good way to eat? Or basic, cut some carbs out and feel a little healthier. Or just a basic healthy meat lovers diet plan. We've got something for all of that. So yes, we have some avenues for that. And honestly, do some research, ask some questions, and start thinking about what you can eat. I'd love to just say, here's a way to eat 5 perfect meals every day. And here's how to get 21 different fruits and vegetables into your system so you have an amazing, healthy microbiome and your gut feels fantastic and you're happy to go to the bathroom 4 times a day or whatever it is and you couldn't go before. And little things like that, they matter, right?
Of course.
Everybody wants to just be able to go to the bathroom and feel free and healthy and all of that stuff. So yes, there are ways to get there, but start slow. And if don't be afraid to ask questions and or go on Instagram and try things out that work for you. But don't feel like if something's not working for you, like it's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You might have an immunodeficiency in one area, and you just were missing a food that you need that works for you, right? And there are clients that I have that we're doing everything perfect, and they're like, well, there might be something a little missing because my body needs something. So we'll go to one of the nutritionists we trust and do some tests. And sure enough, they have a really bad intolerance for eggs and nuts, and we didn't realize it. And sometimes just going away from those things and eating some other foods that support your nutrition, you can go back to them eventually.
Yeah.
So sometimes just learning like, oh, my body actually gets really irritated. For me, I even have that. If I go to the movies, I'll have some popcorn. I love movie popcorn. Why not? I work really hard. I can have that anytime when I go to the movies. I'll have the popcorn, even though I know it's gonna mess with me later. And I like to have a little soft serve ice cream or something after my popcorn. It's this weird tradition I have. I'll feel like crap after. Because those are two things that my body does not like. I'll throw in the popcorn and I'll throw in the dairy just so I have a couple intolerances in my system. I will take probiotics, or I'll take digestive enzymes before or after, and they help me a lot. With those intolerances. So that's something, even just learning how to utilize digestive enzymes can help.
Yeah.
And just learning what's intolerant for you. I know there's even today there's a lot of information to digest in this podcast, but break it all down, simplify it. Your journey in anything doesn't matter. Even learning a new language, you're super familiar with that.
See,
one little step at a time.
of course.
Break it down and just say, okay, what little changes can I make first? Then what can I start to learn how to do consistently?
Okay.
So Jordan, sorry to butt in.
No.
First of all, thanks for being here and doing this with us today. Ahead of time, I do want to invite you again because it's very important that people get the opportunity to hear and see this, because the more and more we look around in the community, the more and more a rounder shape you see.
Yeah.
And somebody like myself, I've been struggling with losing weight for over a year now. How do you keep somebody motivated? I want to ask you two questions and answer them whichever way you want. How do you keep somebody with an injury motivated to keep on going with all the pains and strains that they go through? And second of all, what kind of budget should somebody be looking at when it comes to something of this caliber?
That's a great question. Really good question. Yeah. So one thing I want to say is one of the big things with us is we're not looking to get you fit because we think you don't look good. You are already beautiful. I don't want you to come in because you're like, I don't look good. I look terrible. People come to me and they say that all the time. I'm like, no, you don't. That's not at all. Like, that's not at all accurate. If you want to, you associate beauty with feeling good, feeling your best, that's fine with me. But when you first start, that's a big thing, is like, who doesn't have an injury by the time they're 30? You can, especially here in Ottawa, we had a girl, she came to class today after missing a couple because she had fallen on the ice. And I'm sure that happens all the time. You jerk that tailbone all over the place here in Ottawa, slipping on the ice or falling down the ski hill. It doesn't matter what it is. You can step out of bed and sprain your ankle. It's, who knows? It can happen, and I'm no different. I've had many. Alejandro knows all too well. I actually tore my Achilles teaching. And it's one of those things. I was in peak physical condition at the time, and maybe I thought I was a little bit too invincible, and that's fine. And I take calculated risks because I know how capable I am, and sometimes it might not work. But that's the only major injury I've ever had. But just to go into it further. When you're injured, it's another one of those things where it's actually a reason to work out more. But how do you do it? So what I recommend to people is if you go to your doctor and you get them to recommend you to a sports medicine doctor, they're actually covered by OHIP here. So it can be a really cool way to start. And they can give you all of the stuff that you need, and they can actually help you a little bit with exactly how to do them. So sometimes it can be a really good way to start. I love helping people as well. And if I can just give you a couple tips, that's fine. But then as far as budgeting for a trainer, it can depend. They're different everywhere. We're more on the lower end of the price scale as far as training, but you're still looking. You're like, even with a package, you're going to be looking at in the vicinity of $60 or more per session, depending on, like, most trainers these days are going to have 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour available, depending on what the person needs. But the training is going to get expensive, but it's almost think of it like it's like a physical university for yourself. So it's like you're paying to school yourself and have a better understanding. So essentially you've got a certificate and you can graduate afterwards and be able to take care of yourself properly. That's what I want. I want to give you all those tools to be able to live your life properly. So when you have an injury, two of the best ways to start would be go check out with your doctor and get to that sports medicine, or ask somebody you trust for the proper advice.
Yeah.
And then start looking at your diet. Let's say you're laid out and you can't move your arms or your legs. So start looking about what you're eating first, and you can start taking some of the strain off your body, one, by feeling healthy, and two, by losing some of that weight that you were worried about. Because every step you take, you feel all of the weight of your body on those steps. So if you have an injured ankle, it's going to frustrate you further every time you take a step. And we all know when you're frustrated, you want to have some of the emotional support foods. So some of the guidance basically necessary is just eating some foods like what happens if I'm frustrated and I'm having a craving? What's something better that I can eat, like berries? Some fruits often can stimulate the same response that like ice cream would, or whatever your dessert drug of choice is. We've all got one,
Of course.
Cake. Exactly, right? So, what if instead we're like, grab a handful of blueberries and suddenly we get antioxidants and things that are healthy for our body, but we still get some sugar. But some sugar that's actually way more soluble than processed sugars and refined sugars for the body. So just understanding little things like that, and then, okay, I can't move my lower body right now. Whatever, I'm going to train my upper body, and I'm going to start learning how to work out that hard and burn some calories with my upper body, while I'm rehabilitating my lower body and trying to understand what to eat better.
Yeah.
So that's the best example I can give as to like what your approach should be when you have an injury. Is like, actually don't give in. Now is the time to actually attack your health more than ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely have to do a part 2 with Jordan / Mighty Maestro Fitness, because I'm telling you, you are the Google of when it comes to, working out and things like that I need to have you again at part 2 with Mighty Maestro Fitness. Because we are running out of time, and I want to, if I could be on here for 2 hours and talking about this, but it's just really, really good information. It's very, very important because we all want to better our lives. We all want a healthier life, right? So we're definitely going to have part 2. I'm just going to ask you 2 more questions.
Okay.
And then we're going to wrap it up. Tell me your 5 top supplements that you recommend for somebody to start with.
Okay, I'll try to be brief on that one.
Yeah.
So the easiest way to put this I would start with magnesium, glutamine or branched chain amino acids, or both.
Okay.
Make sure you're getting omega-3. And just depending on who you are, I'd recommend protein itself, whey or vegan or whatever your fancy is, and just make sure it's as pure a source protein as you can find.
Nice. Okay. Top 5 cheat meals.
Oh my goodness. Well, you probably already know, like, I'm a pizza fiend.
Yes.
Every week I've got to have some pizza at some point. So yeah, for me, I'm more of a veggie burger, pizza, or popcorn at the movies, I don't know if I even have 5. I'm like a creature of habit. So I always go, those are like my big 3 that I would probably always go back to. You fill in the last 2 for me.
I know. Let's see. Those cauliflower buffalo things that we had at.
You like those? Yeah.
Yes, just that, and of course, Pepsi, or what is it that you were drinking? Pepsi or Coke?
Coke Zero. Yeah.
Yes, you were drinking Coke Zero. So that I see as a little bit of a cheat. Because I don't see you drink that constantly, right?
Yeah,
so, I mean,
it is a good. That's a cool recommendation if you're having a lot of cravings.
Yeah.
Sometimes like something like a Coke Zero, like a 0 sugar soda, can be like a little helpful tool. Just don't get too addicted to that caffeine.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. This was Jordan Rogers here at Quolores Unidos with us today, telling us a little bit about working out, telling us a little about Mighty Maestro Fitness, how to start, how to stay motivated, and what to look for. If you guys are interested in more, or if you guys have any questions, send us to us at info@radioquerinco.com, or you know what, send them directly to their website, Mighty Maestro Fitness. Send them a message on Facebook, send them a message on Instagram. They are an all-inclusive, everybody welcome. They will welcome you, they will help you at any level to get you started on that healthy routine that you guys need. Mi gente, muchísimas gracias. Yo soy Alejandro Garza, su host de Quolores Unidos, aquí en Radio Qué Rico. No se les olvide seguirnos, no se les olvide follow us, social media, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to click on that little bell. We're going to put Jordan's Mighty Maestro Fitness website and all of their social media handles on here. Send us your comments. Send us your questions. Happy Boxing Day. Happy New Year. Stay fit. Stay smart. And we'll see you guys next year, 2025. Yo soy Alejandro Garza. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jordan.
Much love, everybody.